Hey guys, back with another video to follow up my last build guide. A lot of the comments were asking to show the Paragon board, so I'll go over that now. Little disclaimer, I am only level 82, so I don't have all the points yet, and there's still a lot more to go, and this is kind of my first draft. I haven't really sat down and tried to optimize it, but it's pretty good. It gives you a lot of extra power, and once you understand what's going on here, it's not so complicated. I know this looks kind of daunting. You got all these points and, all these different nodes that you can get and legendary nodes, and you have your glyphs to level up, and there's a lot of bonuses that you can get and a lot of, different things happening here. But hopefully this will be a good kind of simple overview, nothing too complicated, that will help you out and get a good build going. So when you start and you hit level 50, you unlock this starter Paragon board. Everyone has this, and you have to go through it to get to the next boards. So on each board, you have normal nodes, which give you your base stats, intelligence, willpower, strength, and these are in between the magic nodes and the rare nodes. So magic nodes give you a bonus, and rare nodes give you a better version of that bonus. So here we have plus 5% non-physical damage, and our bonus is plus 20% non-physical damage. And this is 20 because if you look here, 8% resistance to all elements, and our bonus is another 4%. So we have 20 because this is base 10% non-physical damage, and our bonus here is another 10% non-physical damage if the requirement is met, which is 200 intelligence, and we have 638. We've met the requirement, so we have 20% non-physical damage. So, you can get this after, you get 4 Paragon points per level, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, right after you're level 52, you can get a huge amount of damage right off the bat. This will help you get super strong, super quick, and you'll be able to feel this extra damage, as well as we're going to pick up some extra damage up here. So as you're walking through these boards, you kind of want to make the straightest line possible. You don't want to be wasting, time getting out here. These little plus 5s, they're pretty much worthless. You only get what you need for these bonuses. So for your glyphs, every glyph can level up. They start at level 1. They start dropping from random enemies and elites after you're level 50. And once you get them picked up, you just have them. And then when you finish a nightmare dungeon, you get XP to put into these glyphs. So as you can see, I have level 10, and these are at level 15. The highest level is level 21 right now. So I just got these to level 15 because it maxes out this radius. As you see here on the glyph, we have plus 95% bonus to all rare nodes within range, which the range is this red. And an additional bonus, you gain 10% damage reduction while you have a barrier, if the requirements are met, which is purchased within the radius 25 willpower. So in this red, you need to have purchased 25 willpower to activate this bonus, which we have 29. So we have our 10% damage reduction while we have an active barrier. So this node gives bonus to the rare nodes, which our rare nodes here are non-physical damage and resistance to all elements. So this just buffs these 2 rare nodes. So what we have here is damage, we have damage, and this gives us more damage. So after just the starter board, you're going to start feeling really strong as you're just getting flat out more damage. And it's a really good start. Helps you kind of juice up right after you get into the end game. So as we move on here, we're moving on to the Frigid Fate board, and a lot of these boards have legendary nodes. Some of them are not so great, some of them are good depending on your build, so you can pick them up if you think you need them. Here I haven't picked any up, so I just went up here, picked up this vulnerable damage, and then we got our glyph slot, which is the Unleash glyph. And this gives us plus 84% bonus to all magic nodes. And like I said about leveling up, this one's level 3, this one's level 10, level 15. So this bonus plus 84% will increase as you level it up further. I think the highest it can go is plus 120% to the bonus, so they get pretty strong as they go on. And this is adding to our magic nodes here, which are these vulnerable damage. The bonus here is after spending 50 mana, you deal 6.7% increased damage and gain 6.7% increased mana regeneration for 3 seconds. So this one, it's not that great. It's not very much damage, and the mana regen is, negligible. I don't really feel it on this build, but we're just in it for the damage. So damage-wise, stacking more vulnerable damage is really good. Which vulnerable damage is one of the best stats in the game, and we apply a lot of vulnerable from Frost Nova and from Ice Shards, and it's really important to have on your gear. So like here, I have plus 55% vulnerable damage on this staff. On my ring, I have plus 32%, and on this ring, I have plus 35%. Plus, we're getting all this on our Paragon board, which will really, juice up our damage. And this vulnerable damage is just important for every build. You should always be trying to get vulnerable damage. So we move on from here after we got our bonus, which is 40 intelligence. So we got the plus 40, got the bonus, and then we move on. And we're going to the Burning Instinct board, which this is all fire damage, damage reduction from enemies that are burning, 20% damage to burning enemies, which, we're not really interested in these magic nodes. What we're interested in is the glyph slot. So we're putting the control glyph in here, which will, for every 5 dexterity, you deal 11.3% increased damage to crowd-controlled targets. And that 11.3 will increase as you level it up, and we crowd control a lot of targets, so it's great. And this bonus is what the real juicer is here. So you deal 10% increased damage to slowed or chilled enemies, or 20% to stunned or frozen enemies. And that has an X by it. By that 20% X, that's a multiplier. So it's not being added into your damage and then multiplied. It's a separate multiplier at the end of your damage. So this is a huge bonus to frozen damage, and we freeze a lot of people with Frost Nova. So it's just a massive, massive leap in damage. So far, we have damage, 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 vulnerable damage, vulnerable damage, vulnerable damage, frozen and crowd control damage. So it's all damage. You're always going to be feeling more powerful whenever you hit one of these points where you can unlock a node. You walk here and you can finally unlock this glyph. You get a boost in power. And so as we, kind of quickly enter and exit this board, we're going up to Static Surge. So we're going to walk up here and grab our damage to stunned enemies and damage to elites, and then more damage to elites and stunned enemies. Also, I picked up this stunning close enemies restores 10 mana. I did that because of our chest here, which after using teleport, close enemies are pulled to you and stunned. So this node that restores 10 mana is per enemy. So if you pull in a group of enemies, say you pull in 10 guys, you're going to get 10 mana each. So you're going to get 100 mana back from using one cooldown. So if you're spamming Ice Shards and you're just running out of mana, use teleport, stun, guess what? Full mana again. It's pretty awesome. And then walking up here, just grab the glyph and we get out. So we put in the glyph of destruction. So for every 5 dexterity purchased within range, core skills deal 7.5% increased damage. So I also have a lot of crit on my weapons and my rings, just like vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, and core skill damage here. We have critical strike chance and critical strike damage, and here we have critical strike chance. So stacking critical strike damage, critical strike chance is really good and synergizes with our destruction glyph here. And also the bonus critical strikes increase all damage to the enemies. Critical strike increase all damage the enemies take from you by 2% up to 12%. So they're taking more damage as we crit more with that crit percentage. So I don't have this bonus yet. I need to invest more points. I just leveled this one up to level 15 to get the wider radius. Because before, the radius was 3, so I couldn't get any of this dexterity here. So that's why I don't have this bonus yet, but I probably should just take this out and grab that. So that unlocks our bonus. You can see it's green. Before, it was red. Now we got the bonus. So now that damage will start stacking. So we walk through here, and now I'm moving on to the Icefall board, which I really want this legendary node. Killing a frozen enemy grants you 15% of your maximum life as a barrier, because this build freezes everything with Frost Nova, and then we detonate it and explode. That this will give us a huge barrier and will really help our defense. Because this build is so squishy, it's going to be huge. And then once I pick up this, I'll walk up here, grab the glyph, and then we're walking straight out. So that's pretty much where we're at. So far, all this is just giving us more damage, and also a little bit of mana. But you're going to feel real powerful with this board. And so far, I kind of really like it. I'm sure it's not very well optimized. There's probably much better choices to be made here. But again, I'm only level 82 at the moment. I still have about 80 to 85 Paragon points to unlock. So I'll probably be able to walk through at least 1 to 2 more boards. Maybe stop and pick up more rare and magic nodes. Like this damage to stunned enemies looks pretty good. But that's where I'm at right now. I hope this helped you understood what's going on here and made this Paragon system a little bit less scary for you. Thanks for watching.